What is going on, guys? It's your boy Dyllan and welcome back to another Destiny 2 video. Today I want to talk about something that has been getting people really worked up recently on Reddit and in the YouTube comments of multiple videos. People, other content creators have been making videos on the matter, and that is random weapon rolls and armor stat rolls. Now, before you go into the comment section and start throwing hate my way, please listen to the entirety of the video and listen to what I have to say on this matter. Again, I'm going to look at it from all aspects, so without further ado, let's just get straight to it, okay? So, one weapon that we will use as an example for this video, we're going to use the old-fashioned hand cannon, okay? Just as an example. So, at the moment, in Destiny 2, if you were to get this hand cannon to drop, whilst you're playing the game, your roll, your set of perks on your weapon will be the exact same as what I have on screen right now. Now, in Destiny 1, that would have been different. If I have one drop, it would have maybe been different from the one you had, The rolls in Destiny 1 were always random. Now, getting into how I would have liked the weapon rolls to have been into Destiny 2, these two columns here, like the sights on the weapon, and also usually this root column as well doesn't ever really usually do much. It's usually something to do with the magazine size and the handling speed and all that sort of stuff. Maybe high caliber rounds in there as well. These two columns never really do much. Okay, they're always sort of mediocre, to say the least. Now, these two columns I would have liked to have been fixed. Now, we'll actually link into something in a second, which I'm going to talk about. But if these two columns were fixed, that will make the game more balanced instantly, in the sense that a lot of people will have the same weapon. Now, the random perk on the end, this one has kill clip, the perk that actually makes the weapon unique itself. I would have liked this perk to have been random. In Destiny 1, the weapons actually had two random perks, so you'd probably have kill clip and say Firefly on the end there, just as an example. I would have liked the unique perks to have been random, which would have added a little bit of RNG into it, would have had a carrot and a stick to chase, so would have been a little bit more of just excitement, when you get a weapon to drop, okay? Now, instantly when I say that, you're probably going to be thinking, well, that's just going to make the PvP unbalanced again, we don't want that, PvP is just going to go to shit again. But, listen to this. Now, if these two columns are fixed, that means if anybody else were to get this weapon, they would have these same two columns, okay? But the perks on the end would be random. Now, what I would do is, if I was to take this weapon into Crucible, these two columns here, everybody would have, but the end they wouldn't. So simply deactivate the unique perks and keep these two columns here. Keep these two columns active and deactivate the unique ones. If that makes sense, hopefully I explained that properly, but that will instantly then, people will have the same sights, the same range, the same stats on the weapon, but they will still be able to have unique perks on the weapons for PvE if they want to. They'll have something to chase and find and loot, which is what I understand what a lot of people want. But if you were to take it into PvP, it would then be balanced. You wouldn't have a perk that everyone's trying to aim for. For example, in Destiny 1, let's say this is an Eyes Luna. Down here you'd probably have Sure Shot. Say this is like the section where you'd have Rifle, Barrel. Those two perks would be fixed, but the Look in the Chamber and the Rangefinder would be random. But you would deactivate the random perks when you go into Crucible, so it would be a fair, level playing field. So, again, instantly you may be thinking, wait a sec, that doesn't really make sense. How would you deactivate a perk? Now, I've played games in the past, I can't remember them off the top of my head, but when you were to, say if you were to get a weapon, they would sort of deactivate certain things on that weapon if you were to go into the PvP side of things, just so it sort of like neutralizes the playing field, so everyone has the exact same, advantages and disadvantages. No one has an advantage over the other player. So then another thing you may be thinking is, well, how do I get this? How would I get a weapon to drop? Now, instantly, weapons are easier to attain in Destiny 2. They are not hard. There is, for example, if I was to play Crucible in Destiny 1 and try and chase an Eyes Luna, instantly I am just at the mercy of the RNG system. I may get one to drop, I may not get one to drop. You know, it's completely random. Not only that, obviously when I'm playing for one to get it to drop, then there's all of the perks that I have to try and get random RNG rolls on as well, okay? In Destiny 2 it's a little bit easier because when you play you have a chance to get the weapon, but whilst you're playing you're also earning tokens to which you can then go to that specific vendor and then turn those tokens into that vendor to get the weapons even faster, if you know what I mean. Instantly, to me, I feel like that sounds like a better system, as to where like there's still something to chase in the game as far as weapon rolls go. You know, like if I get another old-fashioned hand cannon, I instantly dismantle it because it's the exact same one as I've got. You know, there's no excitement as to when you get loot on this game, and it's a little bit upsetting in a sense. But like I said, I'd say that is probably one of the best ways to fix it. I've not really heard anyone mention this way of doing things yet. Like I said, keep these two rows fixed, so if someone else was to be in Crucible versing me in a 1v1 hand cannon battle with this weapon, we would have the exact same weapon with the exact same perks, but these perks on the end would be disabled in PvP. So essentially we are still using the same weapon. So, you know, that to me would probably fix it. Same thing can be said with armor. The mobility, resilience and recovery system, I don't mind it, it's okay, but I did prefer the intellect, discipline and strength. Being able to use your abilities more often in PvE made it a hell of a lot more fun. PvE is kind of a little bit stale at times, it can kind of get a little bit boring, because like I said, supers do still take quite a while to get and all that sort of stuff. You know, when I go in PvE I just want to mess around and have fun, you know. Again, they could have done the exact same system with the armor pieces. Let the intellect, discipline and strength be usable in PvE, but when you go into a PvP arena, disable intellect, discipline and strength, so then everyone's abilities cool down at the exact same rates. That to me would be a much better option. It would add an element of surprise as to when you get loot. You know, if I get another helmet exactly like this, I'm just going to delete it because it's the exact same one as I've got. So, to me, I don't know. I would love random weapon rolls to come back. I'd love armor stat rolls to come back, just so it adds an element of surprise to the loot. The loot in this game is really at times quite underwhelming, can be quite boring. Again, this is just an idea. I don't actually know how Bungie would implement this into the game if they were to, but again, this is probably the best option I could come up with as far as keeping random weapon rolls and stat rolls in the game. Again, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this idea in the comments, and yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I've been rambling for a little bit here, but have a wonderful rest of your day guys, and peace.